Coming in two different colors at $150 is the Razer Kiyo V2. Now I've got the white one here, that was my preference. Razer did send it over so I can shoot this video for you guys. This is 4K support as well as 1080p 60. The 4K is going to be in 30, which is pretty standard these days. Now I'm excited about this because I've been using a Logitech C920 1080p camera for at least 10 years. And I think I paid around $150 for it back then. And this seems like a better value in today's dollars, considering what you're going to get. There is AI-powered auto framing, but hey, AI-powered auto framing is a minimal amount of AI in this product, so that's pretty cool. There's image enhancement, a bunch of different customizations that you can do, including cinematic blur, focus, like a spotlight focus, and different background replacements. So it does depend a little bit on the operating system, but we'll dive into that later. This will be a two-part video. I mean, it's one video, I'm gonna shoot in two parts. The first thing we're gonna do is unbox it, and then I'm going to use it. That'll be the second part of the video, but all happened in this one video that you're watching now. And then also, just so you know, it does support HDR and ultra-wide lens with a 93 degrees of field of vision. So you get a nice wide spectrum on this thing, if that's what you want, and then the panning and the zooming and all that stuff that I talked about earlier when I listed things out. So that's what all this stuff on the back is all about. But this is what it's going to look like. We're going to unbox it now and dive right into it. Okay. Bang. That's a beauty, isn't it? It's a little bit larger than my C920. It's definitely heavier too, but it's a more feature-rich and functional webcam. We got plastic, lots of plastic that will have to be removed. It does have a built-in microphone, by the way. There is a less expensive model called the Kiyo V2X. I don't have that one, and I believe that one's $100. So if you want to save some money and go with I think it's a 1080p only webcam, you'll have that as an option for you too. I just don't have it, so I can't tell you really too much about it. But from the way this looks, I mean, this is a beautiful design, and you can absolutely tell it's going to be heavy duty. So you could mount it if you wanted to. It's a standard mounting bracket or mounting point. This hinge has a very soft, quiet feel to it. It does require a bit of pressure, so I've got confidence this is going to stay in place depending on how you want to lay it down. So what I do, does this also articulate? Oh, that would have been fire. The way I do it is I just rest this on the top of my monitor, and then I use the back part as a support so I can get the angle that I want. But I just noticed that there's an additional pitch. So, and it's really actually very articulating. It moves a lot. That is pretty cool. So you can lay it flat if you wanted to. You could do it this way. Again, you can put it back down, and then you can mount it onto a tripod. Okay, so just some model number information on the back. That's what we have. We have the ability to produce video in low light conditions, so that's cool. Instructions manual, color matching cables. Not your standard braided Razer cables, but we do have USB-C to USB-C. So, and it's a pretty long cable too. Let me see how long this thing is. Say it's about 5 feet. So awesome. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this is a two-part video. So what I'm going to do now is actually start using this thing, and we'll see what it produces. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm using the camera from the Kiyo V2 as well as the microphone. The microphone's about 3.5 feet from my mouth, and the field of view is really impressive. You know, you read these numbers and you don't really know, at least for me, it doesn't translate exactly into what does that actually mean, 90 degrees. But this is pretty darn great. So I have my office set up in such a way that I want people to see my guitars, and I want them to, like if it's snowing outside or it's a beautiful day, I want them to see that too. And the reason is that I work in sales. And so when I talk to people over Zoom or Teams or whatever, I want them to see things like my Game Boy and my copy of Zelda, and I want them to ask me, you know, like, hey, is that a Game Boy? And it happens one in every 15 or every 20 times. Somebody will recognize something in my office, and then they'll ask me about it. And in sales, that's an opportunity to get to know someone. And the thing is that when you're doing these video camera work with people, you know, you're talking over Zoom, a lot of people will blur their background or they'll use one of those, images as a background, which is fun. It's totally fine, no big deal. It makes it hard for me to find something like a guitar on their end that I can ask them about. So for me, this is one way of saying, like, I'm going to even the playing field and I'm going to put some stuff up. Now I can probably mix up with some more exciting things, but these are the things I also like to look at. I like that my guitars are right here and each one has a story behind it. I love that my Game Boy is here. But point is, with the other camera, you could barely see my guitar and you could barely see out my window because the field of view was much smaller. So this is a welcome advancement, just that alone. Now, as far as the microphones go, just on some initial testing I did a few minutes ago, they sound really, really good. And this is my normal speaking voice when I'm in a meeting. So just so you know, this is how I do it. I'm loud. And I really like the clarity here. So the 4K is really impressive. It's at 30 frames per second, which is all I need because I'm not a 60 frames per second guy, I guess. I don't move with that volume. So anyway, hopefully you find this helpful. And thanks again to Razer for sending it over, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.